Candace Owens says she is never getting vaccinated, but there's evidence that she has been vaccinated, okay? So Candace Owens made some comments during a taping of her show, Candace, in which she claimed she's not been vaccinated, she will never be vaccinated, even though tweets have surfaced of her attending a vaccine-required UFC event in Madison Square Garden back in October. Here's the video.
Next question. Are you really unvaccinated? Really? And then there is a shared tweet that says Candace Owens is lying to her followers about being vaccinated. And it shows me at the UFC. And it's, I guess, planning for your event. Oh, the Madison Square Garden website, which says that you've had at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine prior to attending. I would say to the people, first and foremost, I am obviously unvaccinated. You follow the story of me trying to get a COVID test in Aspen, and I only had to get a COVID test to show that it was negative because I was unvaccinated. So I didn't go through those jumps and hoops pretending to be vaccinated. I am not getting this vaccine ever. Never going to get it. I don't care if I'm on my deathbed and they say it can save you. I'm not going to get it. I'm principally now opposed to it, and I do not understand why anybody who is healthy, able-bodied, and young would ever get this vaccine if you're not at risk of COVID. Again, personal choice. You can choose something differently. Regarding the UFC event, I would instruct you not to visit the Madison Square Garden website, but to visit the New York City Law website. You better understand that every time the elites make laws for you, there is a way that they can get around the laws that they're making for you. And there are carve-outs in New York City of when you do not need to present a vaccine card. And fortunately, I fall under one of those carve-outs. That's all I'll say about that.
You fall under one of those carve-outs that you won't tell us which carve-out it is, but my team and I, we've done the research of the carve-outs, and we are going to see which one applies to you, okay? All right. Candace Owens said she would not even take the shot if it could save her life, if she was on her deathbed. That should let you know this is not about health. This is not about good decisions. This is not about what actually works. This is about ideology. This is about drawing a line in the sand. Has nothing to do with taking care of yourself or those around you. She literally said she wouldn't even take the shot if it could save her life, all right? Let you know something much more behind it. So let's put up this picture again of her at the UFC event that required a vaccine, all right? There she is, it's very clear she's there, right? The Madison Square Garden's events guidelines and New York state mandate have the following guidelines. Here it is. The UFC event and the MSG did, however, require guests aged 12 and older to have proof of their COVID-19 vaccination. MSG said New York City requires all guests 12 and older to provide proof of a COVID vaccination. It clarified this meant having at least one dose of a COVID-19 vaccine prior to attending. Ticketmaster said in its important event info that attendees needed to show up with appropriate ID matching the name on the vaccination document if they wanted to go to the UFC 268, all right? Now, there are actually some carve-outs. Let me read them to you. Here are the exceptions, exemptions, etc. Non-resident performing artist, not regularly employed by the covered entity as they are in a covered premises for the purposes of performing. Nope, that doesn't apply to her. A non-resident professional athlete, sports team who enters a covered premises as part of their regular employment for purposes of competing, and a non-resident individual accompanying a performing artist or professional employment or professional athlete sports team into a covered premises as part of their regular employment, so long as the performing artist or professional athlete sports team are performing or competing in the covered premises. Does not apply to Candace Owens. Owens claims that loopholes got her inside based on the guidelines, right? So a search of the New York Department of Health website does not appear to list any such carve-outs that would allow Owens to get around the vaccine requirement. Current city guidelines state that people 12 and older participating in the below public indoor activities, including visiting indoor arenas such as Madison Square Garden, are now required to show proof that they have received 2 vaccine doses, except for those who have received 1 dose of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Now, here's my conclusion. Based on the fact that she was unwilling to tell you what the carve-out is, based on the fact that she was, in fact, at a vaccine-required event, I believe she had at least one vaccine shot, or somebody terribly violated the rules for Candace Owens. Senator, thoughts here?
There it is. That's it. Somebody violated the rules, or she got one shot. But this is madness.
It really is
absolute madness.
Yeah, and I thought they were principled people. I thought they said, we're not going to events that require vaccine passports. Well, there you go. You were there. I thought you said you didn't go to those events.